Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much. Whoop. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. To anyone who's new to this channel, a very warm welcome. And I am just, wow, I am just super filled with the Spirit today. Just feeling very connected to God, very connected to the love and joy of God. And so I just wanted to say hi to this channel. I have some people who drop by, I have some regular subscribers, and really what's on my mind and heart today is love. And, uh, and you know, for me, the boldest statement in the Bible is God is love. And not just the boldest, the most important. The most important. And, And so, you know, you can talk a lot about love and talk about what it means God is love. And I can sure do that. I love to talk. And what's important, what's most important is to feel it, to experience it, to open to it. And so there are many ways to do that, to open to the love of God, to have. Because it's one thing to think God is love. It's another thing to feel it and then to proclaim, wow, God is love. So, you know, each of us is unique. And for some people, feeling the love of God, they may feel it in church, they may feel it on prayer, they may feel it in nature. So the question is, what connects you to, and that love has so many different flavors. Sometimes it's just a gentle peace, sometimes a comfortable presence, sometimes a wow, and an explosive, joyful experience. Speaking in tongues is a great way to connect to it. And until I tried it and then felt what I felt, then I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. But, I invite you to try. Just invite God's Spirit to speak through you and just and just see how you feel. So much of religion is about thinking and really legalistic doctrines. But if you read the record, what we have of Jesus, he really challenged that notion. He really more than challenged it. In essence, he said, in many different ways, that he would honor the existence of the law, but then he would boil it down to its essence. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. And so around this simple revelation that Christ shared, all these structures have been built, which cut most people off from the flow of love, or give little bits and pieces of it. So someone wrote a comment, forever loving everything. Hi, dear. Thanks for dropping by this channel. So, someone wrote a comment, I heard I can't be saved because I still sin and live with my boyfriend. So the thing is, if you really look at it, religion is people having opinions and stating their opinions as facts. And so this person gave you their opinion, but they're stating it as if it's a fact. And in this case, it's 10 times scary because 10 times scarier than or more intense because behind that is the ideas. And if you don't believe what I believe or do what I say, you're going to spend an eternity in hell. So, this channel is dedicated to the idea that eternal hell is the most false idea in the universe. I can't decide which is more false, eternal hell or God doesn't exist. Like they're both so, for me, in my experience of life, I can't tell which one is more distorted. That's how. And so to the beautiful person who wrote this, first of all, I'm so sorry anyone said anything like that to you. And we've all experienced things like that, being told things such as that. And it's written that there was this guy who said, "Let ye who are without sin cast the first stone." In essence, everybody sins. And the word sin, Jesus never used the word sin because he didn't speak English. He spoke Aramaic, and the Aramaic word for sin is an archery term for when you miss the mark, when you fall short. Like let's say this is your target and instead you hit here. Well, in Aramaic, that would be a sin. You missed the mark. You fell short. Like here's the target and you hit here. Oh, you fell short of the target. Everybody falls short. And even if you want to forget the cool Aramaic stuff, everybody sins. And anyone who says they don't sin, I would stay away from such a person. I would think of such a person as delusional and in need of my prayers. But I'm delusional too because I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so to the person who wrote this, I'm utterly convinced that God is like a good shepherd for whom 99 sheep is not enough. That they would, if one sheep got lost, they would go out and find it. And I'm convinced God is like a father who welcomes home their son or daughter who just went off and did the most awful things. And when the child comes back and is like, Father, or if you're so theologically inclined, Mother or Source or whatever please, I need help, welcome me back. The Father is like outstretched arms and joyous and celebratory. And that Father is not going to keep searching till every single sheep, every single child has found its way back home. That's my bottom line. That's my bottom line. There's nothing anyone can say or do that will convince me otherwise. And the paradox of being a human being is the people who believe in eternal hell. There's nothing anyone can say or do that will convince them otherwise. Although over time, more and more people are renouncing that belief. It's interesting to watch that happen and coming to the belief more in line what I'm saying, that one day, some way, every child, every soul will find their way home. Some people call that Christian universalism or universal reconciliation or universal salvation. I just call it what Jesus called it, the good news. Jesus called his message the good news. The Greek word is evangelum, which gets translated as gospel. But evangelum means declaration of a victory, good news from a leader, like a change of leadership. But it wouldn't be good news if only 99 sheep. And God wouldn't be God. God wouldn't be love. And God wouldn't be almighty if some way, somehow, if one soul doesn't make it into heaven, is in hell forever, then the devil's won. And the devil is more powerful than God. Unless God is evil, unless God is not love, which I don't even like to think such thoughts. They feel so untrue. So that's my response to the beautiful soul who wrote in. And yeah. And the thing is, there's just a lot of opinions out there. So ultimately, all you can do is follow your heart. That's what it's going to come down to. Like, for example, I had this one person write in. This person wrote in here on the channel, and they wrote me like 3 long, like this verse and this verse and this verse and this verse and this verse. Da, 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 da. And then the person wrote, so once you have believed, you cannot lose your salvation. And this, oh my gosh, this person wrote 4 comments I didn't even see. And they're just like, there are 4 essays. In one essay, the person says, once you have believed, you cannot lose your salvation. And then the next one, the person says, hold on one sec, let me just find it. And then the next one, the person says, the Bible is very clear concerning eternal torment and that salvation can be lost. Like, that's the thing is to believe in eternal damnation or eternal torment, you kind of have to be a little insane. You have to believe God is evil or weak or doesn't want to save everyone or can't save everyone. It's and then to believe, oh, God is love. Some people think God is love and God has destined that some people will be tortured forever. It just gets really weird really quick. So I just like to keep it really simple. That there is a supreme reality that made me, that made all of this, that made you. And that reality is completely good and trustworthy. And that reality was the glimpses of that reality have been shown cross history, cross culture, with many teachers, wise sages revealed different aspects of it. And that a very clear, some days I say the most clear, I don't know, revelation of the nature of this love was shown to us in the person of Jesus. And so there's so many opinions out there. And of course, I'm just one more, and the internet's made it 10 times worse. I mean, here I am. But so see, in the end, and this is what religious people don't want to admit to, in the end, each person just has to follow what they think is true. And that's kind of scary because we all want absolutes, right? But in the end, we're all on this quest for truth. And the reason why it's become scary is because religious systems have been created that then threaten eternal torment if we're wrong. And I call that spiritual terrorism. Believe as we do as we do, or eternal suffering. And most of us are told this as children. And so it goes in very deep. It's very terrifying. And I'm convinced very untrue. And even as convinced as I am, there are still moments where the fear bubbles up. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks for saying hi, forever loving everything. And thank you for the person who wrote that comment. And I don't want to be mean, but thank you for the person that said, once you have believed, you cannot lose your salvation. And then in their next essay, the first sentence they wrote, the Bible is very clear concerning eternal torment and that salvation can be lost. That's the state of the religious world today. I don't want to say insane people, but people with insane beliefs, thinking they're sane, and then going around and teaching other people. So what's the difference between them and me? Well, I'm not perfect, so that means I have some insanity in me. Like, until I'm completely clear, that's kind of how I see it. Then I'm not clear, and not being clear is being delusional, and being delusional is insane. But all that aside, my wish is just to point people and invite them to find out for themselves what's true. I'm not standing here saying that what I believe is true. I'm just saying I believe in it. Just saying I trust God. Just saying I believe God is good and all good and completely dependable. And invite people to reflect and find out for themselves. So, I wish everyone a God-filled day. Hi, just got another live viewer. Welcome. You caught me at the tail end. I think the thing I'll close with, and I say it often, but I don't know that I can say it enough. That is, if you knew nothing about the Bible, nothing about Jesus or Judaism, and you read the Bible from start to finish, in the question of salvation, you would come to two conclusions. Some people will be saved, some people will be tortured forever or destroyed, and everyone will be saved. Both messages are there. Absolutely. Both messages are there. However, most of the sentences that say eternal torture are mistranslations. So that's the first fact. The second fact is early Christians believed in a temporary hell. Early Christians believed in universal salvation, not all, but the majority, and that some people would need to go through a temporary cleansing, that hell was a cleansing process. Now, the thing is what I'm saying can explain the other verses. The other verses cannot, can explain, the universal side can explain the hell side. The people who believe in eternal hell, they cannot explain the universal verses. They have to throw them out. Whereas someone such as myself, and I'm not alone in this, I have an explanation. The universal view holds the view of hell, that yes, for some people there's going to be a temporary cleansing process and it's not going to be pleasant. Maybe some of us are going through it right now. There's different interpretations. But those who believe in hell, eternal hell, they just have to throw out all the verses, and there are many. So if you want to go by the Bible, please be honest that both messages are there. And please be honest that you're choosing one. Some people, like this person said, the Bible is very clear about eternal torment. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's very, if you go, you cannot, if you go just by the Bible, you have to pick a side because both sides are there. And as I've explained, one side can explain the other. But that's not how I found my way to this. I found my way to this through trusting that God is good, that God is love. And then I just meditated on it. And really the parable of the lost sheep and the parable of the prodigal son. So I wish everyone a beautiful day. I'm going to go do some stretching. I'm just going to spend today in prayer and contemplation and communion with God. And that's the other thing. You know how I really came to this? So if you pray or meditate or go to church and have a special feeling, or go to nature and have a special feeling, or write a poem and have a special feeling, or read a poem and have a special feeling, or, and this is going to sound like blasphemy, or you make love to someone and you have a special feeling. There's a very special spiritual feeling that throughout the ages people have felt doing these different things, doing creative things, doing service, doing spiritual practices. They felt something special. I call it the presence of God or the glory of God. Presence of God is the simplest. And when I feel that presence, and when I'm connected to that presence, the idea of eternal hell, there's no reference. It's like there's just no, like two different things. That goodness, that peace, that love, that feeling of sacredness. Sometimes you walk out of church and you just feel, I feel so good, and I don't even know how to put it into words. Or after a prayer, I feel something special. This deep peace that I can't even put into words. The Bible calls it the peace that passes all understanding. When I feel that, eternal hell makes no sense. Makes no sense. So I think that's ultimately how I found this. Was from inside out, going by what I felt. When I felt connected to God, I used that as my guidepost for what's the nature of God. Goodness, love. And then from there, not only didn't make sense, but just felt so wrong that this goodness, this peace, this love could torture someone forever. Okay, enough words. Wish everyone a beautiful day. Take care, dear ones.